Oh, wait. It said admit participants.
Hi,
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for seeing me today.
Yeah, no worries at all. You can hear me and you can see me?
Everything is just,
Okay. Okay,
yeah,
that's a miracle. No, I've just have been having technical difficulties all week. But
no,
no.
it's
Good.
it's
How are you
real.
how are you doing?
Well, I started my physical therapy, and
Yeah, how's that going?
it's good. It's only about 15 minutes drive from here, and
Right?
they're nice people. You know,
Is it
they
well, nice and it do but do they push you? Are they going to make you do what you
no,
need to
I
do?
would
Yeah.
say they're very professional and friendly,
Yes.
and
Yes.
yeah, I mean, the first one was he said we're just going to take it easy and then
Okay.
work up. But I can see them working with other people, young and old, and
Yes.
yeah, no, I mean, I shall. Um, I mean, I've learned with those places, it make the atmosphere makes a big difference, and
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, yeah.
the attitude of the people, you know.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's all good. And I'm walking every
Good.
day,
Good.
so
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, yeah,
walking
yeah.
about a mile.
And how's it
So
feeling?
about
I
a
mean, yeah.
good, good.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm. I mean, this is working. I think.
Awesome. No,
Um,
that's awesome.
so I wanted to ask you before I forget. Did Seattle Police Chief? Did somebody resign?
Yes, he did. Yeah, Chief Barnes. Yeah, we can definitely talk. Yeah, let's talk about all of that. So I was sick this week, and I didn't realize. The bite of Seattle was last weekend, where there was a shooting. I was supposed to be there, and literally exactly at the time
Oh God.
that the shooting was happening. I don't even know. I still don't know whether they were. They. I mean, but this band that I know, they were probably doing sound check. They would have been like not on stage yet, but
Right.
getting ready. And I took a nap, which I didn't realize I was getting sick, but I was like, that was so because
Right.
yeah, but I was like, oh, that's so unusual. I don't in any event.
Yeah.
I was extra tired, but I'm thankful now that I wasn't there. Again, though, I always try and put things in perspective. Had I gone, 500,000 people visited the Bite of Seattle over the course of the weekend, and it is
Right.
tragic that 3 people died, and it is tragic, but the
The
events
odds.
yeah,
The
no,
odds.
yeah, no, it wouldn't have been me. Yeah, I no. So the odds, yeah, I want to just start there. But yeah, it was shocking. So I did end up because I didn't know about it. I was on the light rail as people were coming from it, and I was going to a different event that was happening later. So again, still I had knew nothing about it.
Right.
And people they said that because it was a food event there was just food thrown everywhere once the gunshots people just threw their food everywhere. They saw shoes, children's shoes, Crocs, just people just abandon they're running for their lives,
Right.
and so they abandoned their shoes. Someone got herded into a gift shop and then by police or security, and they weren't allowed to leave for a period of time. I'm sorry. All of I'm still processing all of it.
Right.
um,
Right.
and the chief of police I've never been a fan of. His wife and child, which has now been publicized, but I think those of us have known all along, don't live here. His children go to school in Chicago. He's visited Chicago 4 times so far. He's visited, I think, seven, or well, including those trips, he's done 3 other police conferences. Every time this comes up, they point out that visiting and representing the department is part of his job, but he seems to make spending time outside of Seattle a much bigger time part of his job. He was out of town at the time that the event happened, and so that was very damaging for him. I think that
Did he come from Chicago?
he came
I
from
mean,
Wisconsin. No, he came from Wisconsin, and he
oh,
came
okay.
from, I'm trying to remember, a very high profile case, and I think it was a racial, I can't remember the details. His name is Sean Barnes. He is black. Our previous police chiefs were, Latino. His name was Adrian Diaz, and before that was Carmen Best. She was a black woman, the first black woman. All of which is important only to men, only because when it was being spoken. Okay, let me back up. So I'm fine with him resigning. I don't. I'm fine. I never thought he was the right person for the job. I always thought he was someone who didn't really have Seattle's best interest. This was just at best, landing spot. At most, a place for him to showboat, which seems to be his thing. So I'm fine. And the same muck that they're flinging at him, they're flinging at the mayor for all the same reasons, mostly just because she's a Democrat socialist and a woman and young and the reasons that have nothing to do with, and as other people who are more reasonable point out, she couldn't have done anything. Here's the rare for me. You know me, I have no love for the police, and especially not the Seattle Police Department. I don't think they could have done anything different. I mean, I don't, this is the nail in the coffin for him, but I don't think this was his
So
fault.
it's because he happened to be away, and that was already a criticism of him.
Exactly. Yes.
So
And although us, and I guess in my own small activist circle, have been saying these things about him and he only rents an apartment here and he barely lives here all along, that just became news for whatever reason this week as well.
right.
And then the other piece of it, of course, every single time when they said he was going to be, he was at risk of having to step down. They say, they have these community leaders who came out in support of him. And I'm always like, who are these people? I'm sorry, black community leaders, because I don't know any legitimate black activist who says, I want more cops, or I love the cops, or I love this guy. But it's these older religious leaders, and they trot them out. But what I noticed this time is they're dwindling. Like, it's not, they don't have I mean, if they're saying they're religious leaders, but they don't have a congregation with them. It's just the small group. And yes, whoever the police chief is, they have their ear, and by SPD saying we listen to this one group, they get to say we listen to the black community, but they don't represent the wider whole. So in any event, they were protesting.
Are they older black males predominantly?
They're men and women, but they are older and they are all associated with the church, and many of them are. I am older and legitimately, again, I don't want to speak to their experience, and I'm afraid to leave my home in ways I wasn't 20 years ago or 30 years ago. My neighborhood feels different, all of which is believable and true, but they are not. But my argument would be more cops isn't going to make you safer, even if it makes you feel safer. And
so you could say that in any community, you could find a generation of black leaders, so called, who would support the status quo to some degree.
yes,
Right? In
yeah,
other words,
yes, because they're validated by it, because they get to stand
they're
next
validated.
to, because they're
Yeah.
validated by it. Yes,
Yeah.
and that's the most cynical view, because I also want to believe they care about children and safety and all that too. So I want to give them the benefit of
Sure.
that doubt as well.
Sure.
And the thing I noticed, again, with using leaders into quotes, it's not just the police who I think very cynically know that they are not speaking for any larger group other than themselves, but the media as well, because the media pulled in very tightly to this protest on City Hall. They really made it, they didn't want you to see that it's only like this less than 20 people. It's not, they're not
So what was
representing.
this protest? Tell me what the protest.
Just that they didn't want Sean Barnes to resign. And again, I'm like, this
Oh,
is your
I see.
this is your
I see.
political collateral with your community that you're wasting on a guy who's not even one of us. And again, I'm not from here either, but I've lived here 20 years. I live in the community, and I really live in it. I own a home here. He rents, and he doesn't pay. Yeah, he's going to take, now he's taking a $500,000 settlement, and will go on to his next step. So
So the media concentrated on a small number of people who supported him.
Yes. Yes.
So did the media support him?
No, the media has always critical of SPD because the local media is and to a certain extent the local mayor, whoever they are, and the local city. Yeah, the their perspective is always crime, 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 and the police is an easy target. So no, they don't support him, but yeah, no. In fact, they were the same. They were the ones flinging the mud at him. But they also, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Why they need to make sure these people seem important because these are the people that they interview. They're not going to come and
Ah,
interview. They're not going to interview me as a representative
those
of.
people are always available to them.
Well, always
As
available and say the right things and
yeah,
say pro
they're
pro
predictable.
the more we want more cops. That's the message that they are aligned with. The media
Oh, I see.
is always wants more money for more cops, though they don't. Though they will always be critical. It's a both and. That if you look at their coverage, you would say why should we possibly give the cops more money because all they are is corrupt. Look at everything you're showing. Like I mean, yeah, they're very critical of SPD, but at the same time, they always think we should be giving them more money and have more cops, and that's always the solution. And especially so. They're going to use this, and this is the other people, other than the mayor and the cops, the other entity they're pointing fingers at, I think unnecessarily or unfairly, is the bite of Seattle organizers. I don't think that there's anything that they could have done differently, but this is now going to change how, possibly, how events happen at big spaces like the Seattle camp. There are two types of. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were about to say something.
No, I just remind me because what actually happened? I
It,
mean, there was one person or
the,
two. Or,
four guns. One of the people with a gun was one of the people who died. Three people died. One person who is a teenager is in custody, awaiting possibly being charged as an adult. They had a ghost gun, which is a plastic gun, this is important because it was one of sort of like made from 3D printed
yeah,
parts.
yeah.
There are ways to make those harder to obtain that the same right wingers who want more cops definitely don't ever want to talk about. But yeah,
Right.
that and yeah, no, and yeah, no, and there's still two people at large. I mean, in my mind, I think the police
Oh,
are saying,
really?
well,
So there were four people,
well, there are
four
four. Well,
perpetrators.
there are four guns, and the police have only accounted for three. Well, have only accounted for two. There are four guns, and the police have only accounted for two people. And they're saying one more is at large. But I'm saying if there were four guns, that sounds. I don't know.
So how old? How old
It
were
sounds like they
they?
were all teenagers. It sounds like they were all probably younger people. And unfortunately, I mean, there was a vigil at the Seattle Center, and one of the people who died was one of the people who had a gun, and someone was, a mother was in tears. She's saying, I knew this person played video games at my house, and yes, I don't know why they brought a gun to the Seattle Center, but I knew them as a kid who was just an innocent kid playing video games, and whatever they happened there, So yeah, I mean, I think,
Isn't
um,
it relatively unusual for a shooting like this to involve that many shooters? I mean, usually it's one, isn't it? I mean,
I, the
teenager
the
or
the, the I will be curious in the weeks to come how they were all interconnected at all. If these were just four strangers who all independently happened to be armed,
oh,
that is alarming. That would alarm me. But I don't know the case. I don't know if this was. I don't know.
I see.
We don't know any
So there's a
details.
lot of unknowns,
There's yeah.
including people who haven't been caught, possibly.
Yeah, no, including that. And back to security and all that. I mean, ghost guns, metal detectors aren't going to help with ghost guns, but now
No.
we're going to have excess security. I don't want to say, well, what I call security theater, because I know, as someone who goes to shows and festivals every day, when they're processing hundreds of people, that bag check. When you're paying a temp staff, a minimum wage temp staff, that bag check is minimal at best. They're not it's I call it security theater because it makes people feel safe, but it's not. But
It
it
deters some
okay.
people
Well, no, okay,
who do,
that's
who
true.
don't who real who don't want to take a chance on how sloppy it is.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But
No,
but if somebody is determined,
yes,
right,
yeah, no, and
it's
I
not difficult.
yes. So, yeah, but I am just, there's a different event called Seafair going on, and of course they had to respond. And so again, all these events that I love, I hope the solution isn't. I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind metal detectors. I don't mind waiting online. That's fine. I more cops. I don't. It ruins them for me when there are cops standing around. First of all, yeah, no, it just burns me that they're getting overtime to just stand there, and it doesn't make me personally feel more safe. It makes me feel less safe because of my history with police and who they would single out or target if any. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't make I don't believe it makes people safe, but it makes people feel safer, and some people at the expense of others. And I don't know, this ongoing more cops debate. It's just exhausting. But events like this always result in more money thrown at a police department that has already proven itself corrupt. So, yeah, that's my take. That's my hot take. Um,
Okay, because I didn't know. Really, what I had read about it was the resignation,
yeah,
and I hadn't really followed what actually had happened and what the aftermath
yeah.
was.
I mean, again, I think we're still just finding out. Um, No, I don't know. But as it turns out, separately, they did an annual safe cities list. Seattle's actually, I mean, out of 83 cities, with Memphis being the most dangerous, Seattle's 65. I mean, we're pretty low on the list. New York's only 13, so you're very safe. Like you're almost in the top 10 as far as safety. Virginia Beach is safe. And to me, whenever they make these lists, I'm like, but these cities are all very different sizes. They all have very different. I mean, I don't. It's almost comparing apples and oranges anyway. I mean, even Portland and Seattle, which are like 20 spaces apart, very different size cities, very different geographically. I don't know, but in any event, Seattle 65 out of 83, which is pretty. I was like, oh. We're actually pretty. We're not that safe a city. That's
You know that, and New York is safer. I mean, according
much.
to,
I mean, at least according to one metric, and
well, I guess that the metric they're using
yes,
is the proportion of crime to the population,
right, right. No,
not
probably yes, yeah, yeah,
to
and violent crime,
population.
yes,
So so considering that hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of wealthy New Yorkers don't actually live there much,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So if you eliminated, yeah, I don't have much faith in those in that kind of data.
yeah.
I don't have faith in data
No, yeah,
actually.
no. I unfortunately, I mean, I don't. I try not to be. I yeah, I am a skeptic of data. All data can be manipulated. I want to know the source. I want to know more. And yeah, no, you're right. That's again, if it's only per capita or per, then because New York has millions and millions of people, then that actually means that they can have many many more crimes
Yeah.
than Seattle and still make yeah. What something, but oh, just no. How does it feel now? I mean, I know growing up. Well, one thing they say, growing up in New York makes you pretty fearless, which is true. I always felt safe, but I grew up in crack vials on the street. I remember seeing little red caps on your way to school, hearing gunshots. Sometimes, especially if you were in certain neighborhoods at certain times of night, it was not uncommon on a Friday or Saturday night for gunshots to erupt in a club and to be like, yeah. I mean, that was not uncommon. Giuliani came in and I guess the city cleaned up, but that city felt very different and alien to me. I don't know. Just how does it feel now? As how do you feel? Does it feel as far as safety or as far as?
It's so absolutely subjective.
Hmm.
Um, I have never experienced anything worse than being shouldered or jostled by somebody who's, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
marching down the street.
You're right. No, right.
Victoria has
Oh,
been punched
oh.
in the face,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
she's had a different experience.
yeah,
Um, a man, I think a Jewish man was stabbed to death on 84th and Central Park West
yeah,
at 1:30 in the afternoon.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, wow, that's where we lived, right?
Right. No, right,
I
right.
never, I never did, I've never felt unsafe
Yeah,
in that part of
yeah.
the
Uh,
city, right?
yeah,
Um, so, uh, and the guy, I mean, different perhaps, but the health insurance guy gets shot dead
hmm,
in the middle of the mid morning. The guy, the
yeah,
guy's
yeah,
on
yeah,
trial
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. Yes,
So
but
I
that, yeah.
mean, there was. Um, I think perhaps what's changed is it may be that overall over all of the city, crime has decreased, but it has spread to all parts of the city. So, in other words, it used to be, oh, you don't want to go there, right?
Right. No. Right. Right. Yeah.
But we're safe here.
Right.
But
Yes.
but I don't know if we were ever safe. I can
Right.
remember years ago, 20, 30, more than 30 years ago, Bill Beatleston got mugged on Park Avenue, and
Right.
he wanted to leave the city right away.
But
So
yeah, but I'm torn. No, okay, no, yes, of course. I'm torn though because I have again during what is commonly considered the most dangerous period, the 70s through the 90s. I went to some of the most. I went to house shows in the Bronx. I would be high on drugs in Central Park at 2 in the morning. People say no one survives Central Park at night. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Central Park is dog walkers and like I don't know. In any event, but again, perception equals reality. I don't know, but yeah,
but one incident
oh right, no, right again. I'm sorry, but
changes your
yes, no, and thank you for bringing up every. Well, first of all, there was definitely a period, and I remember this with Victoria, but also where just unprovoked attacks on women had become, especially in the subway, or especially had become common. And I don't know if that was one person or a trend or what happened, and if they
No,
ever got caught.
I think it's still. I don't know how frequent it's still a problem. It is still
Right?
a
No.
problem.
Well, aggression.
Random
Yeah. Okay.
aggressive guys,
Yes. Well, no. Angry
angry
men. No,
men.
angry men have always been a problem, and women in safety or feminine
Yeah,
presenting and safety is always because I would say by sophomore junior year, so probably by 15 or 16, all of my friends, female friends, so minors, children, had a groping or an incident on the subway, like had some kind of creepy, if not physically aggressive incident on the. I mean, all of them. And I remember being surprised by that because again, I felt safe on the subway. I had been someone who had been advocating to you all. I want to ride the subway by myself at whatever age I felt I should be allowed to. I for whatever reason, I always felt safe on the subway. But to hear other people's experience, Yes, no, it's not the same for everyone, and that's very important to note.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How was the Odyssey?
Odd,
Oh,
odd. It was fine. I mean, it was. Um, I was fascinated to read that Matt Damon's um, what do you call it? Double was a
oh,
4 foot
yeah,
6 woman with
sure,
good biceps.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. The magic of television.
he,
No, I
he
yeah,
he was
yeah.
he was happy to. No, I don't know. I think that I mean the debate. There's an interesting debate by apparently the Christopher Nolan had mentioned, that he'd worked off a recent translation, by an
Oh,
American woman,
yeah.
and of
Okay,
course there are hundreds of translate. I mean, there are
yes,
millions of
yeah,
translations,
yes.
and that woman got all hoity-toity, and then my friend Joyce Carol Oates
Uh
came
huh.
out and
Huh.
said, why, who does she think she is? This
Oh,
is
did
just a
she?
good.
I did not know
Oh
she
yeah,
entered
yeah,
the
yeah. She
debate.
said
Nice.
it's just a good movie. Shut up. Don't be so
Right.
academic.
Yeah, yeah. I
So um yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I stayed awake
yes, you mentioned
more.
that. Yeah, you mentioned that.
I enjoyed it. But I mean I've spoken to a pal of mine he's going to see it for the third
Oh,
time. And
really? Okay.
I mean that's that's pretty serious. Um I I I was watching it. I was oblivious to other than Matt Damon. I didn't know or care who anybody was
Right.
in
Yeah.
terms of
Yes.
being. If it's obviously has to do with my age, etc. If it had been 20 years ago, I would have known more.
Yes.
The stories behind the actors and actresses that I'm now reading about. John Leguizamo, is that his
Oh,
name?
yeah. No, him.
He,
He's my generation. Yeah, he's been around a
yeah, I
minute.
know. He he had some very funny things to say
For sure.
about being cast for it and doing it because
Yeah.
he plays he plays an old blind guy and
Uh
spends
huh.
a lot of times with a lot of time with pigs and goats. So he felt rather less than
Oh,
when he was on the set. But
yeah. Yeah.
he was kind of just making a shtick
Sure.
out of that. Yeah, I mean did he? What else did he make? Did he make? He made Oppenheimer. Did
He
he?
did he made Oppenheimer. He did Dunkirk, which was the war epic. I had no interest in that just because I
I have
don't.
no. I don't
He
even know if I saw that.
He
Yeah.
did Conception. That was the big sort of, and that's actually sort of the opposite of this. That was very CGI heavy, and that was sort of, that was the one where people debated what did the ending mean. It was kind of like about memory and dreams and implants. His first movie, also about memory, is called Memento, and it's about a man who has it's a real medical condition where you can't form new memories, like or yeah, you can't form new memories. And so in the movie, this character gets all these
Oh, he doesn't
tattoos.
remember what he's just done.
Yeah, and so, but he gets all these tattoos, but then he's starting to get the sense that he's being gaslit, but by who? And so he's leaving himself more and more notes, and
Oh,
he has got posted. It's very good because it's all very low budget and it's
I
all
did
done.
see that.
Yeah,
I
no,
did
you
see that.
probably
Yes.
it to me.
No, no, I enjoyed that. That was very
Yeah, it
good.
was all done in like low. It was all done low budget in hotel rooms. That's still my favorite one of his movies. All his other movies have been very, very big budget, big stars. But I still like what he did. again, just in a few hotel rooms with a concept which was his brother. That's the other thing about Christopher Nolan is his brother writes. He either bases things on short stories that his brother writes because his brother
Oh,
writes short stories, or they collaborate on
oh,
original screenplays
okay.
together. So I always appreciate someone who, yeah, I don't know who, yeah. That's cool. No, I just think that that's neat. No, I like Christopher Nolan. I think he's talented. I'm fine with him achieving the level of success as far as anyone does. But he also, we talked about last week. I think it's interesting that he can actually shift technology. They will make certain types of lenses or whatever. But also, he makes these kind of proclamations that about I don't know about the importance of certain kinds of lenses or whatever, but that's not really true because even he himself did amazing things on a very low budget. And so once I don't know, he now speaks for and about. So once a director reaches a certain point, I don't know, they can only make a certain type of movie, and that's
Is that
I don't know. I've never seen a director go back to a $250,000 budget after doing 10 million, or 50 million or whatever.
well? That's kind of isn't that in a sense the story of Hollywood or the story of uh I'm thinking of it didn't happen to Hitchcock, did it? I mean, it didn't happen to Billy Wilder.
What happened? What happened?
I'm
Which?
saying, in other words, they kept making good
Oh,
movies
yes,
and
yes,
they were successful.
yes.
It wasn't as if each movie they made,
Right.
as it made money, gave them more money. They didn't spend. Uh,
I'm trying to think.
I
No,
mean,
I mean,
is it the idea that the goal, no matter where you begin as a director or producer, the goal is the blockbuster. That's
I mean,
that
yes, yes, yeah,
um, as I make my movies from with modest budgets,
yes.
I want to be noticed and given a lot of money so that I can make a huge movie that could be a complete disaster. But
I can think of very, very few people for whom that's not true. But it's a short list, but there are people. John Sayles, John Singleton, Wim Wenders, people who Hollywood threw money at and who maybe even took it for a movie or two and who said, you know what? No, I'm going to stick with independent. I would rather produce myself so that I can. There are a few people, but really only people who flirted with success. No one who really ever got like millions and millions and millions of dollars and then stepped back from that. So I don't know. I think I don't know if the goal. Well, I can speak for myself as someone who still someone. I don't think I really want to be a filmmaker, but as someone who creates visual art in the world every day. The goal isn't to be discovered or to be successful, but if you did, what would you do with it? I don't know. No, I don't know. I think, yeah, that's a complex. That one's complex. Um,
I don't know. It makes me think of Dennis Hopper, who I don't know if he was in Easy Rider. I don't know if he was had any role in
yeah,
making it, but
yeah,
he was given a huge amount of money,
yes,
and he went down to somewhere in South America
yeah,
to make a movie about the Amazon.
yeah. I think it's called
And
Head. Yeah,
I don't know if it ever came out. It
they
was
someone eventually pieced something together to try and
Oh,
cobble
okay.
together a profit. But yeah, he never completed. He never turned in a completed film. He never turned
No.
in an edited completed film. They just did a lot of drugs and shot a lot of
Yeah, a
footage. And
lot.
I think
Yes,
Jack Nicholson was there for part of it.
probably.
And
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So okay, so that just didn't that didn't happen. That was a failure. But I'm thinking of European directors
Sure.
who um I mean they seem to make s- s- successful or interesting and successful films with the same type of
Yeah.
budget. But the numbers are so different. I mean
Yes.
the numbers can be so huge now that I guess I mean do they count on making five films and three are gonna make a lot of money or
Oh, it's I industry wide. Only 1 in 10 movies make a profit. Only 1 in 10 movies made. But that's I. But for an individual
make a
studio,
profit?
make a
Make a
profit
profit.
at all. Yeah, at all. Most so 9 out of 10 movies lose money. But for an individual studio, it depends on how big you are. So someone like Universal can put out dozens of unsuccessful movies in a row, but only needs one mega whatever, Barbie or whatever, Oppenheimer, to make up for it. But an independent studio can only one or two, even just subpar, even just barely, even just didn't make its budget back, can bankrupt you. So it's, I mean, it's. And those margins are why Hollywood only bets on tent poles and blockbusters. And I mean, more and more actors now, you mentioned Europe, are going to Europe. You're seeing almost as many Americans faking British accents as you've traditionally seen the other way around. You're seeing Americans learning French or people who've, for whatever reason, knew other
Yeah,
languages turning up in
yeah.
these things because they can make those kind of human-centered dramas that it's not that they're not made in America, but they're not made at the same scale. They're not made at the same, and they're not appreciated by audiences in the same way in America. We only turn up. Now, we say we don't want reboots and sequels, and over and over. You listen to any forum, Letterboxd, any movie forum, and it's filled with snobs saying they don't want sequels and reboots and rehashes, and we vote with our wallets because that is what Hollywood makes, because that is what people turn up for, whether we
And
say we want
sometimes
them.
they make even more money.
Yeah, what?
So
Yeah.
I
So
mean the sequel or the prequel or the reboot.
even the Odyssey is a sequel. I like to point out because I've so the Iliad is still. I'm one day waiting. They've done the Odyssey so many times. I'm just waiting for someone to do the Iliad. That's the one I fell in love with as a kid. I read them both. I had to read them both,
Oh,
but for whatever
okay.
reason, most people the Odyssey is the one they've done
Uh,
over and over. And
oh, I
yeah,
see. Yeah.
Achilles. Everyone loves Achilles. Whatever. Um, Hollywood. No actors. What else? No. What else?
Um, I don't know. Oh, okay. New pet peeve, which has been going on for the last 3 days. Um, because we are near Stewart Airport,
Huh.
which is, it looks like a real airport. I mean, we haven't gone in it, but when you drive by the entrance, it's got Stewart Airport.
Right.
It's a military airport.
Ah.
We're not far from West Point.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
It's
Yeah.
the airport that when they kidnapped the Venezuelan, they
Yeah.
got him there and then
Yeah.
helicopter.
Right.
So, and I think from there we have had these formation fighter jet flyovers,
Right.
enormous sound in formation,
Yes.
several times in an afternoon. That's your tax dollar. That's your tax dollars burning gasoline, right?
Yes.
For what? That
I,
it is not war. They're not going anywhere, right?
yes.
It's not even a celebration. They're
Yes.
not plumes of red, white, and blue.
Yes.
They're bad enough, right?
Yes. You okay? Well, you were one preaching to the
It's the
yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say you were well. No, I was gonna say you were preaching to the choir, but you were also you. This is funny. I have just turned the leaf on this, and not because I have any. Everything you just said is absolutely true. It is pro-military propaganda that is environmentally. It actually has like one of the groups here in Seattle. So I am actually. Well, I was supposed to be at a protest for say no to the Blue Angels because, like I mentioned, it is Seafair weekend, which is in
Okay.
some
Yeah.
part they're a part of it. I am part of Say No to the Blue Angels, which is a coalition. One of the groups is Doctors Against Militarization or whatever their organization is, and specifically like they've done the test, like the air quality goes down after like it
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
it has an effect. And I have made the choice just as of this year to let it go. Let me tell you why. Because my neighbors love it. Because children love it. Because and in years past, my thought is, yeah, but children love anything we tell them to love, and we tell them to love it, and we don't have to. We just like Paw Patrol, which is pro cop propaganda. We don't have to tell them to love these planes. They only love it because we told them to. But I'm done fighting with my neighbors. I'm done. Half of Seattle really, really loves them, and I don't get it. I don't. Like, to me, they're just a loud, annoying nuisance. The first time I ever encountered them was now 2 decades ago at nap time when I'm trying to get a dozen children down, and I've never
Oh,
loved them.
you have
But
it a lot then. You
no,
have it a
it
lot.
happens every year. It's part of our annual.
Oh,
It
okay.
happens once a year, and it's part of an annual thing. It only happens for 4 days, but it is a very planned, and it happens. And again, it's beloved, expected, and people. To me, actually, the people who are most pro about it, they're exactly like the planes themselves. They're loud, they're aggressive, they're basically bullies who think their way should be everyone's way. So yeah, I'm not acquiescing, I'm not saying I like them, but I'm just done fighting this fight, especially with so much going on in the world. And no, they're the PTSD veterans, specifically if this is supposed to be it's pro-war propaganda, and yet veterans are among the groups who protest it because it triggers their
Yeah,
PTSD.
sure, sure.
Yeah, no, I don't like it at all. Most recently, them as well as the Apache, specifically the Blue Angels, as well as the Apache helicopter pilots have made the media because they've been flying too low, and now apparently the new rule in the military is it's okay to do unsafe things if it's cool, or I don't know, but it's they've gotten this bad press because the Blue Angels did a flyover so low that it actually like blew people's beach umbrellas, not here in Seattle but somewhere I think in South Carolina, and then immediately the military said something like, carry on boys, flag 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 emoji or whatever, like we're going to remember the Kid Rock, the helicopter. This is
Yes,
we're
yes,
gonna
yes, yes.
so that's all tied in with it now. This like they were already bad enough, and now we're gonna keep like I don't know like what we're doing like, but we're giving them the
Oh,
authority to be even more daredevils until they crash or hurt someone, or yeah, I've never been
well,
pro.
this is all new. I mean, I'd never experienced it because
Right. Yeah.
in East Hampton, we're near the airport, but it's a totally domestic airport, and people
Right.
complaining about rich people with helicopters didn't it never bothered us. And Manhattan, New York City is obviously since 9/11 is you occasionally have helicopters hovering,
Right.
maybe, but I've never heard this before.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean
this is
it's
it's totally new to me, and
yeah.
I don't know what my name. I mean, there's nobody for me to
Right.
discuss it with other than the dogs, and one of them goes and
How?
hides.
Okay. No. See, my
But
dogs. Yeah.
Agatha doesn't bat an eyelid. Cleo
Yeah.
goes into the basement
Yeah.
and hides. So I don't know. I just thought of it as and not as many things as you pointed out, but the waste. I don't know. And they're like, what's it for? In other words, but maybe there is some kind of um, uh, military celebration that I didn't get the memos.
I mean, they may. I mean, if you're near
Uh,
West Point, they may just be practicing, or yeah. No, I don't know.
well, yeah, we're
Yeah.
between West Point and
Yeah.
this airport, which I know actually because my ex FBI friend told me they have actually in the airport they have built the biggest regional FBI
Oh.
headquarters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like a secret. It's not secret, but it's obviously,
Yeah.
they say you can fly to the Faroe Islands or something, like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a there's an
Yeah.
international flight to the Faroe Islands, which
Yeah.
I mean, it might be worth going one day, but
Yeah.
otherwise, I think it's purely it's your tax money.
Absolutely. No. I
That,
mean, yes. Eh,
okay, all
No.
right. So
No, but this has been my 20. I mean, I started printing my own stickers and then like going online and being there must be other people and finding out that literally yes, there are whole organizations and they have long bullet pointed
oh
valid reasons, not
oh
just I don't like this or they wake up my toddlers. Yeah, no, it's a real thing,
oh, I didn't know that at
but
all. I
yeah,
don't know if there's
and for
any protest here. I don't.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
But
don't
I am
know.
letting it go. I'm letting it go. At least this year. I
Good.
don't know. We'll see next
Okay,
year.
I'll let it go. I'll
uh,
put my earplugs in and let it go. Uh,
they're dropping the charges on the reflecting pool. They're admitting that
well, well, Janine Pirro of all people
that part I
who
don't
was one of
understand.
the first people to say
Yeah,
that this guy was guilty right before he was practically arrested.
yeah.
I mean, she is now saying it's completely botched. It's the fault of the contractors.
Yep.
They sent apparently what I understand is the Interior Department fed all this information to the Justice Department, and the Justice Department didn't
Or she.
examine anything, didn't actually go and look,
I no, because yeah,
right?
the right the yeah, that I
She
don't find
said
that
once she went and looked, it was obvious that the whole thing was peeling
yeah,
from the beginning.
but
And this
what
Olympian guy, poor guy, I mean, for God's sake.
yeah, no, and there are three other people who aren't famous, so we don't really know what's going on with them. But yeah, they were ready to put him in jail for years. I mean, the maximum charge was 10 years, and Trump specifically, in case maybe he didn't know that or was these quote unquote animals need to be in jail for years. So and they knew it was nonsense. I mean, they knew, but that's terrifying. I mean, the same thing. There are hundreds and hundreds of assault cases against ICE officers, many of which are pleading out or disappearing, but some of which are sticking. Just like and. But I'm glad that they did the reverse. It seems to be just they're just gonna the government agencies blaming one another. That I actually immediately went to the Atlantic Coatings, whatever the name of the company is, website. Their last update was to say yes, there are some minor repairs. Someone called and they had no comment, but yeah, I don't know what they're going to have to say about now officially being blamed. because they're still on their website proud that they did this national mall,
Oh,
proud to
they
have
were the
been so.
first company. They were the first. They
Yeah,
were
yeah,
Trump's personal pick
yeah. The no
with
bid contract. Yeah,
no competitive bid,
yeah.
right?
But yeah, now their website has gone silent as far as, um, but I mean it's the, yeah, to me it's yes, I think it's great that I agree with his lawyer that he deserves an apology, but the fact that they went that far, the fact that
Well, look how they're going. Look, they've closed the Smithsonian, or they're firing the the
oh
director of the National Portrait Gallery resigned because
yep
she wouldn't accept the new labels. The Smithsonian, they're trying to get close down the
yep
Smithsonian, you know.
yeah
Um, and it's, I mean, the language that is used by the administration to criticize these places
right
is puerile. I mean,
oh yeah no yes
it's lacking the any basic intelligence. It's like, I mean, basically saying, you know, we want we want an adulterated white history of America. You know,
right no and
and anything that is, I, I mean, what you've got to go pretty far to find a country where you're going to go into the National Museum and see only a highly doctored history of that nation.
right I mean
It
it's
would have to be a country currently under a dictatorship,
yeah
right?
yeah
Any country in the world, I don't
yeah
care
yeah
that they would have a less biased history of their,
um,
right.
the other and then yeah no the other risk and this is just talking to historian or yeah people who care about history is completely sanitized histories aren't very interesting. Like conflict is what may like they like if you try and present a version of history that's completely sanitized, there's no yeah it's not
Well, it's
credible.
not going to, it's not going to
It's
be credible. It's not credible.
it's not interesting and it's not credible. It's not it does yeah so to me, to a certain extent, it's let them try. The other piece of that is he knows he's president of the entire United States, right? Not just Washington, D.C. Like, they were supposed to be megalomaniacs trying to take over the world, and yet he seems so bogged down with these and I understand it's
Well, it's about real estate. He's a real estate
but
developer,
that's such
so
a but that's such a but
he
sure.
doesn't see beyond the building, right? Uh,
So, okay, so if we had elected someone who had made their money as a video game magnate, then we would be okay with them spending all their time renovating the arcades of Washington, D.C. That's not that doesn't, I mean, yes, I understand that he's a real, but that doesn't explain it. That still doesn't, he's like, the things also, his approval rating is below January 6th. Like, which I don't even understand. Like, how can you be below that? Like, how can people, like, and again, I understand this war is really unpopular, and again, for most people, money is the main motivator, and gas and groceries. He promised day one, and he did not fulfill that promise. So, but no,
well, he hasn't really completed anything, has he? No,
no,
I mean, nothing has actually come about.
not outside of some gilded horses on the White House lawn or what yeah, I mean, again, these little projects that
Yeah,
he can feel
but the war, the economy, um, I mean, he's actually, I mean, tariff. A lot of the stuff he kicked off, but it's getting bogged down. I mean, it's
right.
eventually getting. I
And
mean, what happened to Doge? That
right. No,
fizzled,
that yeah.
right?
No, and it's yeah, and it's even the right wing, the GOP, who have the majority, are balking now. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna confirm Todd Blanche. I don't. They're not.
No, they're not.
They're
No, they're
not.
not.
and he's he can make threats and whatever, but it's there. Yeah, I don't. So I mean, he's officially a lame duck president, and so it's interesting to watch.
Um, there was something else that
Yeah.
occurred to me. Well, I mean, I would give him Washington architecture if he gave up being interested in
I know. Yeah,
foreign
yeah, yeah, yeah.
policy,
I actually, yeah, I
right?
know.
I'd give him that
I'd rather he focus on that exclusively. So, yeah,
only
I guess.
because selfishly, I know this is to me absolutely staggering that at the Brazilian AIDS conference, the State Department
Oh,
unveiled a
Miss
map of Africa.
yes.
But
Um,
how can you make a map of Africa
Chat
that's wrong?
GPT, Chat GPT.
Is
Um,
that what it was?
I don't know. I can't
I
prove that.
mean,
I didn't even hear that. I'm just that was my first guess. But no, well, because you don't care. You didn't put much time or effort. You don't believe in DEI, so it's not even important. So you're not even going to apologize. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. No. I've so many.
but
Yeah.
the State Department, and I know, is filled
Yes.
with people who devoted their careers
Yes.
to the development in different African nations
Yes.
who could
Yes.
draw you the cities of Africa, let alone
Yeah.
the countries. And
But
yet,
those
why
people.
do they not go to those? Why do they not talk to the people who know? Because
Because those people they're the deep state. Those people are all
they're
they're
liberal.
they're
Well,
not they don't. Yeah, we
yeah.
don't talk to them. No, yeah, the people in charge don't. Yeah, clearly don't know.
But
Donald
they
Trump.
don't trust. They
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. Donald Trump. I can't. Was it Liberia? Donald Trump. Complimented the prime minister of Liberia on his English. The dude just laughs and thanks him
Yeah,
without mentioning that English is the national language of Liberia. But whatever, let him just thank
he
you,
should have.
sir.
He should have returned the compliment.
That would have been good. Oh, that would have been good. Do we care about Beatles Rubber Soul Deluxe Edition? Have you heard? Is that I just it's being I'm just hearing it.
No,
Okay.
no. I Rubber Soul. Okay, as opposed to any other.
I think they found
What
some
does it come with?
it's demo
Oh, I
tracks,
see.
some bonus tracks, some alternate recordings. Um, I
I think. Well, I guess I'd call it rock and roll archaeology. You
right.
know, there's.
Yep.
It's pretty much endless, I would
Yes.
think.
Yep.
And there's somebody in some abandoned warehouse, is one day going to find
Yeah.
some extraordinary outtakes. Um, no, I don't know. I'm listening when I go for my walk.
Yep.
I listen to and this is I say this without blushing. ABBA's greatest hits,
Yes.
totally underrated,
Absolutely.
especially when you consider they're Swedish. I mean,
No, well,
there's not a hint of Swedish accent.
to me they're like the prototype of that Eurodance model of the lyrics don't need to make sense, but they just feel right. Yeah, no, yeah, no. ABBA is ABBA, absolutely.
So
And
ABBA, and
yeah,
then recently today I moved to Donna Summer
oh
and
yeah, no, you.
Georgie
That's always
Moroder,
yes. Oh,
which is
Giorgio
very good
also.
to walk to because
Yes, yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah. That got that syncopate. Yeah,
also I think this is a real stretch, but I wonder if any musicologists has thought of the uh, possible similarity between Giorgio Moroder and who's that? Uh, um, Not John Cage.
Oh,
The organ guy, Philip Glass.
yes, yeah, yeah,
Between
yeah, yeah,
Giorgio Moroder and
yeah,
Philip Glass.
yeah,
Because one is very, very high on the
yes,
cultural scale, and the
yeah,
other is very, very low. But there's the same kind
sure, no,
of.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And well, and just my immediate take is Giorgio Moroder's pop sensibilities are too good for his own good. Philip Glass can make a tonal, and you're thinking this doesn't sound right, but that must be me. I must not be smart enough for this. But Giorgio Moroder makes exactly what your brain wants to hear. It makes him millions of dollars, but people say that can't be art. That's too. It's too. The machine, the keyboards must be doing it. He just programs it. He's not doing the art. That's too easy. Yeah, no,
No,
he
I
doesn't get
think it's
credit.
very, yeah. But it goes back to what I quoted. Did I say last week that I'd seen a quote from um uh uh help me, school's out.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh uh uh
Alice, not Alice Cooper. Yes.
Alice Cooper
Yeah.
saying that Bohemian Rhapsody is a complicated tune, but it's much harder to write I Want to Hold Your Hand,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
much harder to write something that you hear once and you're never, ever, ever gonna.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, simplicity. I mean, yes. I mean, simplicity doesn't mean easy, and it doesn't mean, yeah.
I mean,
Anyway.
every TV commercial jingle, and again, that's an art form that no one's ever going to get credit for, but people got rich. Some of which have been
Oh
running,
yeah.
literally, some of the ones have been running for 80, 90 years, and it's exactly the same scale as children's music. It's that same
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
major scale. There's no mystery. It's just ding ding dong, and but that sticks in your head, and it is harder than it sounds to write as
Oh, I think so.
someone who's tried to write pop music. So yeah, no, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
What do you have planned this week? Anything?
Well, we're
Any?
going to. Reason I wanted
Oh
to
yeah,
talk to
yeah,
you today is because there's a across the river. There's small Italian museum for Italian contemporary art
huh?
that has we've been to once before. It has a nice restaurant, and
Yeah,
we want to make a day trip
yeah,
to that because it's good weather.
right,
And
yeah.
yeah, so I'm just going to
Sounds good.
keep with my physical therapy. I'm driving. I'm allowed to drive now.
Right on.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, I drive in around here. I don't
yeah, yeah,
go on
yeah.
the highways. Yeah.
Right on.
So, yeah. So I hope you have a good week. What do you plan? Are you going to any
Um,
concerts or?
yeah, okay. What's to where am I going today? There is a house show, but I think it's a little far. Yeah, I have a few things. Oh, it's like a Pan African cultural festival, and there's a parade. I love parades,
Oh,
and
good.
so yeah, it's just a
Oh,
community
great.
event. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to today. And then yeah, music stuff, just normal music stuff. There's, like I said, the Blue Angels was the big protest, and I actually had already made the choice to sit that one out this year. So
Good for you.
all right,
Okay. I'll
I,
join you.
yeah, I love you.
I love you. Have a great
Bye.
weekend.
You too.
Thanks.